Hi everybody, this is a video to explain what you're going to do for part 5 using Desmos to find your equation. So starting in the top left it says, for this part of the project you will use Desmos to find the equation of best fit for your parabolas. So in real life, when you throw something in the air, there are things like drag and you put spin on the ball that change the way the ball moves through the air. So we're not going to find an exact equation, but we're going to find an equation that's the best fit for our parabolas. So pretty close. It says, open the attachment motion shot picture, find an equation in Notability. Follow the directions in the PDF. Again, if you needed help and you're watching this video, take a screenshot of your final equations and submit here. So I'm going to click View Attachments, and I'm going to open Motion Shot Picture in Notability. Okay. So the first thing says, before moving on to part 2, you must have both pictures done with points labeled. So remember last time we were talking, you had made these beautiful pictures. And it says, whoops, screenshot your first motion shot picture and place it in the box. So in the top left, I can click the back arrow. And I'm going to click on my motion shot project. And I'm going to scroll to the picture that we had labeled. Remember, you should have 2 pictures. I'm going to screenshot this. Going to go back in the top left and click on motion shot picture, find an equation. So I'm going to go to the plus sign at the top right, click on photo, recently added. I'm going to click the picture of the screenshot that we just took. And then remember, I like to click and drag it so it fills up the whole screen. Great. Now I can scroll down. It says, Step 1, open the Desmos app. Create a table with the points from your picture. Type your points into the table. Hint, the more points you use, the more accurate your graph will be. So I'm going to close this for a moment and find my Desmos app. I'm going to click and drag my Desmos app onto this dock. I'm going to reopen Notability. I'm going to drag up from the bottom of the screen and drag Desmos to the side. So it said create a table, so that's this little plus sign. in the top middle of the screen. I'm going to click on the button that says Table. Okay. And then I'm going to go back to my graph. And there are 6 points it looks like that I can use. I can use my x-intercept, so 1, 2, 3, 4, my vertex, 5, 6 points total. So I'm going to start with my left x-intercept, 1, 0. So in my table for x, I'm going to put 1. For y, I'm going to put 0. And again, next point, 3.5, comma, 8.5. My next point is 7/16. So in my table, I'm going to write 7/16. And then we have 8.5, 17, 11, 14, and 16, 0. So let's look at our graph. Wow, honestly, our graph is looking pretty great already. That definitely looks like a parabola. All right, let's go back to our instructions. So it did say the more points you use, the more accurate your graph will be. So try to use at least 6 points for your graph. Then it says, you should see your points take the same shape as your motion shot picture. We definitely see that it's creating this nice parabola shape. Step 2. Use Desmos to make a quadratic regression. In other words, find an equation that matches your points. So a quadratic regression basically takes all the points you've inputted and tries to make an equation that fits most of the points, or at least is close to all of the points. So you might have done this in 8th grade when you found the line of best fit. So it says, on the next line, type the following exactly. So we're going to type this equation. Y, you can find your squiggly line at the bottom. That means y is about a let's see, x. To make the little 1, you can do this AB button. One. Then I'm going to click over using this arrow, the right arrow, squared, plus b x 1 over plus c. And then I'm going to click the next line. Oops, I forgot to type y1. Ah, there we go. So Desmos has automatically created a parabola that fits through most of your points, which I think is super cool. this r squared number tells you how good your parabola is at fitting those points. So in our case, if it's 0.99, that's really close to 1. And 1 means that it fits perfectly. So the closer you are to 1, the better. 0 is like the worst. That means it doesn't fit at all. So I feel pretty good with our line of best fit. So these are the numbers A, B, and C that you're going to use for your next part. Let's scroll up. So it says, the values of A, B, and C are generated by Desmos. Write your quadratic equation filling in your A, B, and C. Hint, round to the nearest hundredth. Hundredth means the second point after the decimal point. So first it asks you to, after entering your points in the Desmos table, screenshot your Desmos table and graph here. So I'm going to make sure everything is visible and take a screenshot. I'm going to add the picture I just took by clicking the plus, photo, recently added, this picture. Okay, and then it says fill in the blanks with your A, B, and C values. So let's see. Oops. Our A value is negative 0.294. Because it's a 4 after 9, anything that's 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, you need to round down. That means that it would stay negative 0.29. So our A is negative 0.29. Our B is 5.013. So after the second digit after the decimal, it's a 3. A 3, we still keep it a 1. We do not round up. So our B value would be 5.01. Last is our C value. We have negative 4.913. Again, because it's a 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, we do not round up. So it's going to stay negative 4.91. Okay. So we completed the first steps for our first graph. Now you guys need to make sure you do your second graph as well. So remember, you need both of your pictures. And you're not using my pictures, you're using your own pictures. The last thing you need to do is write a reflection. So your reflection says, for your first picture, did your graph match your shot motion picture? Write at least one observation you noticed when comparing your picture to your graph. So you're going to say, I noticed something when comparing because so you're going to be comparing the graph to your original picture. Thinking about that. Let's go back to our questions. Same question for your second picture though. For your second picture, did your graph match your motion shot picture? Write at least one observation you notice when comparing your picture to your graph. If your graph did not look very much like your picture, why might that be? Look at your equations. What do you notice about the A value? So remember that's your first value. And the shape of the graph. So what did you notice about A? And what did you notice about your graph? So you might use the words opens up and opens down. Once you finish this whole thing, you are going to go back to Schoology and take a screenshot of your final equations and submit it here. So we'd like you to take a screenshot. Where did Schoology? Take a screenshot of your two pictures like this and submit them to Schoology, just so we know that you're staying on track. Okay, that's what you need to do for part 5 of your project. Thanks for watching. Bye.